And welcome to the Talon Outdoor Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm JD.
Paul Tyre.
And I'm Fred.
All right, here we go.
Boogity.
So anybody that tried to listen to last week's show or the week before show or any of that stuff, I apologize. The last show was a rerun because I just totally
fumbled.
Yeah, I fumbled the ball big time. And then the week before, it had some moments where it was messed up. So in Grant's absence, I have been struggling. I'm beyond my capabilities as a technical person here trying to manipulate all this equipment and software. I've been thinking really hard, Fred, about just giving this to JD to do.
I can fix all that just with a big old hammer.
We just get on the phone and press record and all stand around the phone and talk on speakerphone.
Maybe.
Well, JD, you're the one that came up with when Paul's out in the field and we're trying to do all this advanced technology and do all this call-in stuff and software and all this stuff. You said, well, let me just call him on the phone and put him on speakerphone and see if it works. And it worked fine.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes simple is best.
Sometimes.
And when we're trying to come up with something simple, we go to JD and go, well, what's the easiest way to do this? I do overcomplicate things, and I've been listening. I'm so anyway. There again, my bad. So sad. That's just the way it is. And hopefully this show turn out all right, and Fred won't waste an hour of his time.
Valuable
and
time.
Several really bad jokes trying to.
He looks like he's got a golf game this afternoon going on. You leaving here to go play golf, ain't you? If it ain't raining.
If it ain't raining, I'll probably go out there.
How many hole-in-ones you hit?
I've hit 2 in my lifetime. So
in the past year.
In the past year.
In the past year. Came real close the other day on one, and then, of course, it wound up being a bogey.
Close only counts.
3 foot from the hole and
in
three putted.
Yeah.
That's why I hate golf.
I think the putter, I threw it as long as my drive.
Yeah.
By the time I was over.
That's when I quit playing golf. When I was having to replace shafts on my golf clubs from breaking them over my knee.
It's it can be the most frustrating game.
Yeah.
You know, and you think about it, all you're doing is trying to put a ball in a hole. I mean, it's like
have you ever heard the Robin Williams thing from the comedy skit about golf?
It's hilarious.
It's bad language, but it's
yeah. So don't know if y'all saw this, but the guy that took his mistress to the Coldplay concert, have you seen that on the news?
Yeah, and he's all hugging and loving, and all of a sudden they pan up there, and he tries to get real small and crawl up under the chair. And
did you see the look on the mistress's face? He was like, "Oh, show."
yeah, that was funny.
You know, that's just word to the wise: don't take your mistress to the Coldplay concert. Frankly, I think the wife has grounds for divorce just for him going to a Coldplay concert.
Well, it wasn't Nickelback, but I mean, Coldplay. But
I always take my mistress to
Nickelback, whatever.
The pit bull dog fights because they don't have a jumbotron there, and she likes them. I mean,
Well, so I saw something where I don't know. It was a meme or a joke or something about her being in HR at the company.
She is.
Or something. Oh, she is.
She's the HR person.
Oh man,
I think he was the head.
To nobody.
He was like the head honcho, and she's the HR head, and they got some explaining to do.
They got lots of and the wife who thought her husband was traveling on business. Apparently, they found her on Facebook. She's immediately taken her husband's name off of her profile. So.
He's in a lot of trouble. He's in a heap of trouble, boy.
Most prenups are invalid if there's an adultery.
Jeez.
So that wife's getting ready to have a nice beach house.
Yeah,
I
saw a thing where it said a meme where it says, Mom, how did we get so rich? And she goes, because your dad slept with the HR director in the office, and I got half his stuff. So I was talking about HR. I was doing a tour and a threat assessment this week, and I was talking to an HR director at a facility. And she said, well, where's the office? And then how do you do terminations and blah, 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 all this kind of stuff. Part of what I do is, when you do terminations, make sure that there's a plan and policies. And I said, she goes, well, it's never a surprise typically. And I said, well, yeah. I said, I anytime HR would call, if I got called to HR, I know what's happening. And she goes, "What do you mean?" And I said, "Okay, so especially in a facility where it's a majority women working there, anytime a cisgendered straight white male with a Southern accent gets called to HR, it ain't good. There's not a good reason to call me to HR. Cisgendered means straight, Fred.
Okay, I was wondering about that.
Yeah, or allegedly you're cis as well.
I'm not a cis.
No, you. Well, then I'm glad you came out the closet for us.
I mean, I thought a cis was like a dude that wore women's clothes.
No. Cisgendered is straight.
Okay, well that's that. I'm that.
Okay, then you are cis.
He's a dude acting like a
doesn't
dude,
make any sense.
dressed up like a dude.
I'm
It's
just
like
trying.
who's on first?
I don't know.
Where do all these names come from? That's crazy.
I don't know. They just make this stuff up. It's like they play Scrabble and say, "Okay, let's call him that."
Well, everybody has to have terminology for something. I mean, now one of the simplest types of terminology to learn, and JD and I have been teaching this for a long time, is gun parts. Okay, because when we are teaching firearms, we go, okay, this part that's shaped like a barrel that the bullet goes down, that's called what, JD? A barrel?
Barrel.
And the sight at the front's called what?
The front sight.
And the sight at the rear is called what?
Rear sight.
The rear side.
Okay, and the thing that triggers the mechanism when you pull it is called and the thing that you hold with your hand like you grip it with your hand is called and so and the thing that hits the back of the primer like a hammer hits a nail,
firing pin or hammer. Yeah.
Right on the revolver it's a hammer and the pin that fires on a semi-auto is called a firing pin.
Yeah.
Revolvers also have firing pins.
Some of them.
Some of them are built into the hammer. Some of them are in the gun.
And if you've got several parts put together, like on AR-15s, you have a bolt. You have, and in that bolt, well, the bolt is just a bolt, but then you have some other parts on the bolt, like an extractor, which does what?
Extracts the brass.
And then nearby that, there's an ejector, and in the bolt, there's actually an
brass.
ejector, and it ejects it. And then, but all of that put together is called an assembly.
Yes.
You have the bolt assembly. And then the thing that carries the bolt back and forth in the AR-15 is called what?
A bolt carrier.
Bolt carrier assembly, yes. And it's got a gas key on top.
Mm-hmm.
And then what does that key do? What comes through that key?
Gas.
And then that tube that the gas comes through is called
tube. Gas tube.
Yeah. So that's
the gas tube comes from the gas block. Mm-hmm. That comes through the gas port.
Right.
But anyway, I don't know if it means anything, not Charlie, but the little doohickey on the screen ain't making no wiggly squigglies over there. Anyway.
But,
Then throw the wrench in it.
we'll find out in a minute.
Good. That ain't good at all. Well, we'll do with the.
Well, we only got.
Was it doing it at all during the show?
I don't know. I ain't been
wouldn't
watching.
I was looking.
I just
at
looked
you.
over there and it weren't doing nothing.
It'll be all right. We got audio over here on the
right.
video.
I was looking at you, noticing.
I'm
that
just-
you apparently.
We may have
Making
to do
sure
this
all
over
that
again.
really good content, the who's on first.
Well, y'all
stuff.
looking over my shoulder.
No, I was looking at your beard. It looked like you done something.
Hush. All right. So the what we got? Y'all got me confused now. I don't know.
Now I
if this
think I
thing
might be
is,
sis. Looking at
Let me
that beard.
see. Hold on.
It's still working? Yeah.
No, it wasn't. It is now.
Was it recording?
Well, we'll go back at the end of the segment and we'll figure it out. I told y'all. So I think on the way this stuff works is I can drag the stuff from the video over to the audio. And so now on the break, y'all get to wait a few minutes and see if I can figure out what I'm doing.
Oh, joy.
I can see the timer.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you for reminding me about the timer.
Yeah.
I got all kind of stuff to
Grant,
talk
you
about.
need to come back to work.
Yeah, he just got back from New York.
I just got back from New York City, and I got to tell y'all about all the wonderful things I saw. So, you know.
Apparently, he found a sis up there.
You
found a sis?
Oh, there's a lot of sisters up there.
Uh-huh.
A lot of, yeah.
Weed smoking sisters.
Good gosh almighty. I have never, the only place I've ever, any comparable to that is Las Vegas that I've been to. It's just, that's all you smell. Well, that ain't all you smell. There's other things. And you don't see that in Las Vegas.
Well, people aren't pooping on the sidewalk. Vegas,
I saw no less than 4 spots where somebody had just, I guess, had to go down right on the sidewalk.
4 arrangements?
Yes, four floral arrangements on the sidewalks up
Yes.
there in 4, 5, 6 days of walking around. But did get to see some cool stuff though too. But no, we had fun. I got to tell you about my airport,
I wanna hear about it.
my airport experience.
Oh,
Well,
boy.
we'll be back in just a minute. And we're back, I think.
Okay.
All right, y'all talk. I'm
So-
going to look at the computer.
So I was going to, Paul asked a question on the break. He says, so you carry a gun. Did you carry a gun with you to New York? I mean, yeah, I carried a gun with me to New York. So did my wife. But yeah, you have to pack it in your luggage unless you're under orders as a law enforcement officer and on the job, say you had to travel somewhere as a cop they'll let you on the plane carrying the gun if you're transporting a prisoner or whatever else. You can fly while armed. There's a class you have to attend. Charlie and I both been to the flying while armed class and all that stuff. But because I'm not a police officer anymore, not a law enforcement officer anymore, my wife still is, but she wasn't on official business, so we had to check our guns into our luggage. And anytime you fly with a gun, it's crazy how different the cultures are. We flew out of Panama City, and the tickets were a whole lot cheaper than Tallahassee. And anyway, there was 4 of us, so we had enough sky miles for all of us to go out of Panama City. We'd had to pay money to fly out of Tallahassee. It was crazy.
Of course you would.
So anyway, it's worth the 2-hour drive over there. It's a nice airport. This little old lady, I say old lady, she's probably older than I am, but she's a little old lady, was at the ticket office or the counter there where I went to check my bags in going to New York. And I said, yes, ma'am, I got a couple guns in here, and they're in the case or whatever. And she goes, well, go ahead and get your case out and, whatever. And she's sitting there talking everything. How y'all doing today? And, blah, 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 just nice she can be. And I opened everything up and said, there's the 2 guns in there. And she goes, where's your bullets? And I said, they're in the other box. And I opened the thing up and showed her the ammo box. And I closed it back up. And she said, all right, just sign right here. And off we go. Just that easy.
The way it
Simple.
Way it's supposed to be.
usually is.
Yeah, the way it's supposed to be. So I locked everything up. Off we go. Get on the airplane, fly to New York. Get to New York. So usually, depending on what airport you're in, but mostly all of them now, they don't put that suitcase with the gun in it. They don't put it on the carousel when you go into pick up your luggage with everybody else. They isolate it, and you have to go to an office or somewhere to pick your luggage up. So get to New York. Wife and everybody get their bags off the carousel. I go to some security guard standing there and I say, hey, where do I need to go pick up my bag because it's got guns in it and I know I got to go somewhere special to pick it up. And he kind of gets this perplexed look on his face. He said, you got guns in it? I'm like, yeah, I flew up here with guns. He goes, well, it'll be those set of doors over there, the double doors over there. I'm like, okay. He didn't come with me. I walk over there to the double doors, knock on the door. Lady comes out. Here's your bag. Do you have your driver's license with you? Sure. Show my driver's license. Show my claim ticket for the luggage that they gave me. I walk off, go catch the cab, spend the week in New York. No other, just that simple, except that they had taken my suitcase and had put these big flex cuffs, the big wire ties, huge wire ties.
Yeah.
And you didn't exactly have a pocket knife on you at the time.
Because my pocket knife was where? It was locked up in the case in the suitcase. So can't get to my guns for the hour-long, 45-minute taxi ride from LaGuardia Airport to the financial district in Lower Manhattan Island. I got to go through Brooklyn or Queens or wherever we went through to get there. All these. Anyway. But they had zip tied the zipper tabs together and put a big giant zip tie thing around the whole bag, so I can't open the bag at all, even though
What if it did that in Tallahassee or New York?
Don't know. Probably happened in Panama City. Probably happened on the way out. But anyway, irrelevant. I got to the motel and can I borrow your scissors, please? And cut them off. And no problem. We go, do our thing, get ready to leave. Get back to LaGuardia Airport, checking in the luggage. I go up to the ticket counter, and this guy's standing there. And I said, yeah, I need to check these. I checked my bags in, and we're going to check this bag. And I said, there's some guns in there I need to get. Checking to notify you that I'm flying my guns, and they're checked in the bag and they're unloaded and they're locked in separate boxes and blah blah blah. He goes, Did you say guns? I said, yeah, there's two of them, mine and hers. And he goes, you got guns? I'm like, yeah, dude. They're locked up in a lockbox, in a TSA-approved lockbox in my luggage. You want me to get them out? And he just gets into this panic, and he goes, hold on just a minute. And he picks up the phone, and he calls the police, the airport Port Authority police, and says, I've got a guy here with guns, and he's flying with guns. And I'm like, please tell them the guns are not loaded, and I'm letting you know I have them, and I'm just trying to get on the airplane to go back to Dixie, to go back south of the Mason-Dixon line. And I'm a cop. Here's my credentials, and I'm trying to show this kid that's in a panic at this point.
You've never heard of that before.
And so he goes, you're going to have to wait here. And I said, okay, well, I need to sign the card. Where's the paperwork for me to fill out to put in the bag? And he finally digs around and finds the big orange tag that you have to sign saying the guns are unloaded.
Yeah, he'd never seen that before.
Yeah, he'd never seen that before.
Anyway, so he goes, you'll have to wait here. I'm like, what are we waiting on? He goes, I'm waiting on the Port Authority police to get here. And
Why?
I said, I don't know. Well, we waited, and 45 minutes later, thankfully we had gotten to the airport 2 hours early.
Yeah.
So 30 to 45 minutes later, finally the Port Authority police show up. I show them my credentials, which they promptly begin to take pictures of with their camera.
Why?
I don't know, Fred. I'm not a cop up there. I don't know.
Put him in the database.
Yeah. Then they walk us away from the counter, and they take me alone, my family standing out there. We go into a room where they make me open the boxes, and they take my guns out, which are unloaded, and make sure that they're unloaded, and look at my ammo box and all this other stuff. Take pictures of my serial numbers on my guns.
What'd you have?
SIG 365 and a Glock 43. So they take pictures of the serial numbers on the guns, take pictures of my credentials, take pictures of my driver's license, ask for my phone number, ask for all of my stuff, and I'm like, my address is on there on the driver's license.
Guys, I'm leaving.
I was like, I'm leaving New York. I have been in New York for a week. If you're worried about catching bad guys, y'all might want to go to them double doors over there by the carousel and wait on somebody to come pick their bag up, because the cat has done got out of the bag if I'm a bad guy. You know, the lady.
Why do you want your phone number?
I don't know, man.
I'd have given them 867-5309. I mean,
they were super nice. The cops up there were super nice. They were very polite, very cordial, and all this. And I finally was talking with them, and everything was cool with them. They were just as good as everybody was nice. It wasn't like we've had some not so great interactions at airports in the past. I wasn't in a rush this time because, we weren't going to miss our plane, because I told my wife, I said, we need to get there at least 2 hours early just because of this. And I kind of had a suspicion, but they were super nice. And I said, I said, just example of how different the culture is between down here and up there is a little old lady. No exaggeration. A little old lady checked me in all by herself in Pensacola, in Panama City Beach Airport. It was just as nice as she could be. She wasn't the least bit flustered or nervous or any of that stuff. And then you get up there with an adult male guy that you'd have thought his panties got all in a wad.
He probably had them on
behind the counter up there over somebody. And I looked at him. I said, buddy, just so you know, bad guys that are going to do something bad with a gun ain't going to tell you they have it and go up there and, they're not going to tell you who they are and here's my driver's license and here's my stuff.
Yeah, the only time he's going to tell you he's got a gun is going to have a note that says, give me some money.
Yeah, exactly. And that's,
he probably doesn't even have a gun when he says it.
Yeah. But so the people that the people that come up here with them locked up in a case and tell you they have them ain't the ones you need to be worried about. But it's a very huge, very big cultural difference. Now I'll say this: we spent a lot of time. We walked 8 to 10 miles a day, every day up there in New York. And other than it being the second most nasty place I've ever been, and the weed smell being so bad, I mean, because it's just unbelievably everybody up there smoking weed. If they ain't going to work in a suit on Wall Street, they're smoking weed. I mean, it's just crazy. Walking down the sidewalk, and the human excrement on the sidewalk.
If you had to live there and smell that, you'd probably be smoking weed too.
Maybe.
Really.
The only other place I've ever been that's nastier than there is New Orleans, and in New Orleans on Bourbon Street.
It's going to get nastier if this mayor gets elected.
It sure is.
That guy's.
Trump calls him a communist.
That's because he is.
I think he is.
He calls himself a communist, pretty much. I mean, when you say, "Oh, I'm a Marxist," okay, you're a communist too.
Well, you're socialist. You're worse than communist.
Yeah.
That's worse than communism.
Yeah.
I mean,
Communism is the friendlier version of socialism. Socialism is terrible, terrible. No, they kill people.
I did have one giant interruption to our trip up there. We were going to go ride the golden escalator at Trump Tower.
Did you?
And they had it all blocked off because of the protest across the street. So we had to go kill a couple hours until the protesters got hot and sweaty and tired, and they finally left. And then we got to go back and ride the escalator.
Oh, you did?
Oh,
Did
yeah.
you get a picture of it? Or?
I don't know. Probably. I was riding the escalator. I guess I think my wife took a picture of it. I don't know.
That's pretty cool.
It's a.
What were they protesting?
Some funding to a suicide hotline got cut or something. Some rainbow flag LGBTQ hotline, suicide hotline funding got cut, or was about to get cut, or whatever. Well, I don't know what it was.
There's something new being protested around the country on any given day. On one of the later segments, I ran some new stats on active shooter stuff, getting ready to teach a class the other day, and learned some stuff. And I'm coming up next is the bottom of the hour segment in Dothan, so I'll save it for the third segment when we come back, so that the Tallahassee audience and everybody else can.
But yeah, I didn't really experience any rudeness or anything, and they got some really cool museums up there. The public library in D.C. or in New York is amazing, and when got the Metropolitan Museum had a big armor and weapons display from swords and armor and stuff from all over the world. It was incredible.
Wow.
Yeah.
Can you have a sword in New York City?
Probably not.
Oh, you can take one there. You just can't leave
get it
with
back.
Yeah,
can't leave with it.
We'll be right back. And we're back. So, anyway, I think I got it working again. Everybody out there is going to be going, is this idiot?
It's kind of complicated. In your defense, which I don't do often, it is complicated.
It's juggling a couple different things here. So we're recording the video for YouTube and for whatever else we put it on Instagram and TikTok and all that kind of stuff for little shorts. And we're recording the audio in a separate piece of software. And then that one's
and you got to put it all together.
It's all got to work out in the end, and there's a bunch of buttons to press.
Sometimes it works out in the end.
Here's what makes it worse is that and then I have to click on this over here if I want to change this, that, and that didn't work, and then I probably just.
Don't be messing with stuff over there if it's actually working.
Yeah, it looks like it's working.
So when Grant's producing the show, not only does he understand this better, but he's kind of listening to us, but he's not really actively participating unless he feels the need to jump in on something. He's focusing on all this stuff to make sure everything's working right. I'm trying to be part of the show and look at y'all, which is away from the computer. I need to put me a mirror up over there, and then I can see everything backwards.
But then it's going to be backwards, and then you'll think it's...
Well, if I set up two mirrors that reflect off of each other, and then I get the prism set up in here.
Then it's going to look like a fun house in here.
Yeah. Well, if I see you in it, it will. It'll look like there's a clown in the room.
I go with that.
What kind of shirt are you wearing today?
That's I think it's Peter Millar's golf shirt.
What does it say? The players?
It's got the players on it.
Just run around advertising being a player. He'd like to be a player. He tries to be a player.
They got The Open on right now.
I just like guys. I like how his hat and his shirt match.
I try to match.
What kind of socks you got on today?
I got flip-flops.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Oh my Lord, I can see your toes.
You can't play golf in them flip flops.
No, put your
You
golf
can,
shoes-
but you can.
They actually Olakai makes a golf flip flop.
Of course they do.
Yeah. I'm thinking about getting me a pair.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, you should. Maybe you should.
I mean, but you kind of want to have something to keep your ankles stabilized, when you swing,
Yeah.
so you got that little twist.
Mm-hmm.
That you got.
Little twist. Yeah.
Yeah.
And keep the fire ants off your feet.
Yeah.
Well, you're supposed to shift your center of gravity when you follow through on your swing,
Correct.
and when you do it, it necessitates a twisting of the.
That's why I don't play no more because my back hurt. It hurts my back, all that twisting.
Well, it'll sometimes correct your back. You can hear it go crack
Yeah.
when you got joints like mine. I mean, because I've got
Yeah.
a weird body.
What was that?
You think?
What was that Grossman said about a golf course?
It's wasted a lot of land that could have been a great shooting
The
range.
perfectly good waste of a perfectly good rifle range. It says your ability to hit a golf ball 300 yards does not impress me, but to hit a golf ball from 300 yards does.
Is impressive.
So,
yeah.
I think I can, depending on the rifle, I can hit a golf ball from 300 yards, but I can't hit one 300. I don't even know that. I tried to play golf a little bit. I went playing golf I went swinging a golf club with JD and Herb and some of those one time on the FSU golf course, and by the end of the thing, I was so drunk I don't remember what was going on.
Charlie was mostly riding and drinking.
Yeah.
we played.
It's
up
fun
in
though.
Oconee.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I even bought some golf clubs one time. They're in the attic. I mean, they were Walmart's finest.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was, and it was. I would love to be able to do it, but at this point in my life, I have decided as one of the many things that I'm just never going to accomplish.
Me too.
And I played up in Georgia, and look at these bucks in velvet. They were right there on the golf course.
Go back to that one. Show that.
I mean, these things were giant deer.
Said one of my plantation patrol guys went out the other day and was looking at some deer on a plantation in a high fence operation, and that would be a small one out of the ones he saw. And it was like, holy! He says, "Hey, I want to do this for a living." I'm like, no, you don't get to shoot them. You just get to guard them, buddy.
My buddy Stewart and Austin, his son, went up to our lease yesterday, and they were doing some cleanup stuff around the feeders and what have you, and saw a absolute monster buck up there at our place. So I'm kind of excited about all that.
There you go. Waiting on my invite.
Yeah, that probably ain't gonna
Keep
happen.
on waiting.
That probably ain't gonna happen. I ain't part of it. All right, we'll be right back.
The one live show they kind of do.
And we're back. So I was digging around in some DOJ documents and FBI documents and all that, and I couldn't find the Epstein list, but I was found some other stuff.
He killed himself, by the way.
Okay. They actually said that they came back and confirmed that he did.
That's
and
what
that
they
was
said.
the Trump administration. So, based on the records that they were able to find, I'm sure that's what they concluded. Because they had plenty of time to clean that up. I don't know. He probably did, but I don't care. He's gone.
If he's dead, you don't care.
I don't think he's dead.
I don't care one way or the other. But what I found, we do a lot of active shooter training, and I was putting together an updated PowerPoint presentation because we do seminar after seminar after seminar, go out to businesses and go to corporations, and we do that in Dothan. Hadn't had a lot of demand up there, but in Tallahassee we're constantly getting new calls about it. But every now and then you like to update your data, the statistics. What did somebody say? Lies,
Damn lies.
and statistics.
and statistics, yeah. And so I dug in and found a newer version. Every time I do this, it talks about the trends, and the trend has been going up, for a number of years.
Trend of what?
Of the number of active shooter incidents and the number of casualties until 2 years ago. And 2 years ago, there was a slight dip from the year before. So 2024 to 2023, there was a little bit of a dip from 2022. But we've been doing a lot of preparation around the country, a lot of training, a lot of active shooter drills, a lot of new attention to site security. And I can't say we're doing a lot better with mental health issues, but there's a lot of things been happening in the country to address these issues. Last year, in 2024, there was about a 50% decrease in the number of mass shootings, active shooter situations, and in the number of casualties.
What accounts for that?
Well, like what I just said, I think it is largely preparation. I think it is that more and more people are prepared, and you start to see the numbers, and you look at some of the statistics, and about a quarter of the time civilians intervene and stop these things.
So let me ask you this. What statistic, did you look at the gun sale statistic, the number of new gun owners?
Well, there are a lot of new gun owners that has slowed down a little bit in recent years, the increase, because things were getting violent. People were buying a lot of guns. When a Republican administration comes in, JD can attest to this, when we get a Trump administration coming in, gun sales go down.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, because people aren't panicking that they might not be able to buy them anymore.
Right.
And I think you're fixing to see an increase in the number of silencer sales because they do away with $200 tax come January. And that's just the way it's going to be. People are going to say, okay, I can afford them now. Still got to do the other stuff, the tax stamp, but still. So gun sales kind of went, there are more, every year more new guns hit the market. Okay, more people they're buying more and more guns. It's not necessarily always more people, but there's more guns sold. Because sometimes it's the same dude coming in buying more and more guns.
Yeah, and you get that, and you also get people becoming old enough to buy guns.
Old enough to buy guns, and people are old enough to become more conservative in their views on guns, because a lot of people who are very liberal on the gun issue, meaning they don't like guns, I got small kids in the house, I don't want guns around, or I don't believe in that, I don't think I need a gun, I can fight, whatever. And then as they get older, they realize that, I can't do that anymore. And so you start to find people that start to become, and as people age, they tend to become more conservative in a lot of ways. Not everybody, but a lot of people do. I paid enough taxes, I want a gun to protect myself, and they tend to start leaning that way. They want more grandkids, so they change on other issues. I want you to keep them all, that kind of thing. And as we get older, we just tend to lean that way. And so, so you'll see people coming in for their first gun ever.
I had a guy come in the store yesterday. Long story short, he told me he had fought 30-some-odd sanctioned fights, boxing matches in his life as a young man. And he looked the part. I mean, he looked like one of those people that you just don't want to mess with, still. He's probably older than you and I.
Well, he carries himself that way.
I was like, you just looking at you, sir, I'm sure not a lot of panhandlers come up asking you for money. He goes, no. So, but he was coming in looking to buy his first gun because he's in the conversation, he says, like, I feel like, he said, I sing in the church choir. Sometime I'm up there late at night at church and I want to be able to protect the people around me. And I'm like, dude, you've got the sheepdog mindset. We had this big, long conversation about it. And he's going to take a class from us and learn because he doesn't know. He didn't grow up around guns. But we see that. Having to be in New York where there were places I couldn't carry in New York even with my credentials. I'm fine in public, but when you get ready to go into a museum that has a security, they're a private entity or whatever, you can't carry in there.
What'd you do with it?
Yeah.
I didn't carry it that day.
Oh, I see.
I didn't have it I didn't leave the motel with it that day. I locked it up in the safe in the motel.
So you had to check your itinerary everywhere you went.
Yes. Yeah. Well, we went to the Yankees game, so I couldn't carry there. So we have to, you have to pick and choose.
I remember when he couldn't get on to the what's the dam we went to?
Hoover Dam.
They wouldn't let him in with a gun because he was retired law enforcement.
They wouldn't even let me store my gun in their gun storage locker for people that.
Yeah, I couldn't carry it either, but they had a storage locker for me because I was still active law enforcement.
What'd you do with yours?
Gave it to him.
We walked back out the gate. He gave it to me, and I went in and signed in 2 guns. I got my primary, and this is my backup. And the guy goes, "Okay, cool," and let us go. Yeah,
that's the ridiculousness of some of this stuff. But
anyway,
it's just one of those things where and you're on a subway. We rode the subway some up there, not at night, but in the daytime. But even the daytime subway is a scary place in New York. Just saying. And I'm very aware of the fact that I'm 57 years old and crippled up and broke up or whatever else. So you start thinking about, could I? And most of the time I can say, yeah, I can take that guy. But every now and then you see this guy that gets on there that's acting a little squirrely, that's just, jacked, looks like a big bodybuilder. We ran into one of those, and I was like, God, that guy's a monster. He would pull my head off. I mean, it's just, and you understand that gun is an equalizer for if that guy decided he wanted to go crazy and hurt me or my family, and I'm going to have my hands full right there, or it's going to take me and my wife and maybe some other people to help,
I can tell you this, where I was 4th of July, it's almost like there were people open carrying.
Yes, you were in Georgia.
I was in Georgia,
Yeah.
at Lake Oconee, and of course, I had mine in my belt behind me, and and I'll tell you this, I saw more Trump flags around that place than you could shake a stick at.
Well, you're around boats, and that's.
I mean, these were about as conservative of folks as you could be around.
Well, and you didn't have any problems either. You
Not a single problem.
You didn't have any mass shootings that go on.
Didn't have any mass shootings. Didn't have any arguments. Everybody's polite. Beautiful place.
Hey, if somebody in a not gun-free environment breaks out a gun and starts shooting, at least there's a high likelihood that there's some other guns that can shoot back. And I mean, it sucks that it happens, but at least I feel like I'm on an equal footing. If somebody breaks bad and wants to start doing that, at least I can fight back. And the thing is that people if you carry a firearm into a public place, you should have that right. But don't forget, you have the responsibility to be judicious in your use of gunfire. Okay, where you place those bullets can cost an innocent person their life. You should train. You should get training. You should work on your mindset. You should do situational training. You should do role playing in your mind. And you should absolutely spend some time at the range or in your backyard or somewhere where you can shoot, and then figure out what the limitations of your capabilities are, because we got a minute, Fred. If you look over my shoulder like that, it confuses me. But you need to be able to do that in an effective manner. And if you find out that you can't shoot somebody at 10 or 15 or 20 yards, but you can at 5 yards, well, then you need to learn how to get closer to them.
Yeah, close the distance.
And that brings up a question I meant to ask in the last segment, but I didn't want to interrupt. Y'all talked about this airplane carry training. Mm-hmm. You shoot a gun on an airplane, it goes through, and
it just
fuselage
just makes a hole.
No, it just makes a hole. It's not going to blow the plane up or anything, and it
I
doesn't
thought
depressurize
that's
the
what
thing.
I was wondering.
Nah, I mean, it would have a leak, but they're constantly pumping air into that thing to pressurize it. I think they pull air from the engines that goes into the cab to keep the pressure. They'll be fine.
I was always wondering about that, because I thought, well, man, if he does that, shoot a gun in here,
it ain't like the movies.
Everybody's going to lose their eardrums.
And the thing is the people who carry, typically carry on a plane or trains and that type of thing. The marshals are trained to deal with that. Y'all quit holding up numbers. And I know we run out of time. I can edit the show if I need to. And
I really wanted to know that. I thought a lot of people.
Yeah,
I mean,
we'll be back.